All right, Ulysses, it is a Wednesday episode, which means it's time for our weekly midweek mailbag.
And we got three questions that came out of left field. I was surprised about these three, so let's get started.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your very first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all the platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. All right, Ulysses, let's get right into these mailbag episodes. This first one this is an interesting Twitter account named BabyfaceX. I don't know necessarily what that means, but I'd like to figure that out at some point. But a good question nonetheless. What are your guys' thoughts on left-handed pitcher prospect Mason Montgomery? Will he have a chance to make the big league roster next year, or will he be a trade chip?
Babyface, you said?
Babyface X. And then the @ is actually @golden_boy_X. So there's a Babyface X and a Golden Boy X.
Well, Babyface, thank you so much for writing to us.
Yeah.
I never thought I would say that in front of a mic on a YouTube channel, Babyface. Thank you, Babyface, for writing to us.
There we go.
Here I am. It's 2022. Mason Montgomery, what a name. First of all, what a name. Had to do my research, quite honestly, Babyface, because he was not on my radar. But once I got to see the stats, impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Impressed. I mean, the K/9s were dumb. In high A in his first year in rookie league. I mean, 16.88, 15.24. He's just been moved up to Double A. Obviously, that has changed. It's now the K/9s are at 869. The walks per nine went down. I feel to answer your first broad question, will he be with the team next year? No, I do not think so. At all. I don't see Mason Montgomery, if not traded. I don't see him with the team until 2024 September call up. And that means injuries. I don't think he's going to be in a Rays uniform anytime soon. I just feel like, not because of his accolades, but it's just there's a lot of people in front of him, a lot. And I know he's a starter. If you look at his game logs, so he's only been pitching in Double A for 9 starts. So I feel like even if he finishes in Double A this year, it's not like he's going to be in Triple A next year. I feel like it's not enough time in Double A. So that's why you're not going to see him in for a long time.
Yeah, it's tough. If he continues to pitch like he has most of this 2022 season, maybe he does skyrocket and shoot up. He does have the college experience. It's not like he's just drafted out of high school and trying to work his way through the system. He did play and have quite a bit of experience in his 3 years at Texas Tech before being a 6th-round draft pick. But the Rays have the luxury of taking their time, I would think, with Mason Montgomery. To your point, there's so many other pitchers, injured pitchers, that are supposed to get back into the fold that they can go on to. And he doesn't have to be added to the 40-man for another couple of seasons. He's only played, this is now his 2nd minor league season. So he's got 2 more to go, I think, right? Before he has to be added to the 40-man roster. So the Rays have some workability there. So I don't necessarily think that the Rays have to rush this thing and trade ship. Okay, maybe, perhaps, but if you are going to use him as a trade chip, I would hope that right now he's ranked as the number 2 pitching prospect in the Rays system behind Todd Bradley. Now, part of that is because they have gotten rid of or traded or something's happened to so many others, be it Brendan McKay, Joe Ryan, Seth Johnson, Tommy Romero, Cole Wilcox, Colby White. there's a lot of other guys that have, had something happen to them one way or the other. But if the Rays do opt to, for whatever reason, decide to trade him, I would hope that the Rays in return are getting some sort of major league or close to major league ready pitcher, considering the uncertainty around Tyler Glasnow and how effective he'll be, and Shane McClanahan. I know that the Rays say, whatever the Rays say, it might not be good for Shane McClanahan going forward. Corey Kluber, he won't be with the team anymore. I would think that, the Rays have gotten rid of or traded or something's happened to a lot of their pitching prospects as of right now, which is why Mason Montgomery is the number 2 ranked pitching prospect in the system.
After only having 2 years in the minor league. So that does say so. Yeah, so that does say something. Yeah, this is his second year. So yeah, you're right. You're right on that part. I do not agree with the question marks on Glasnow and McClanahan at all. I'm
talking health wise.
Oh, health, yeah, but like I think the health argument is a little bit more broad. Like anybody could get injured, and I understand Glasnow does have a kind of a past riddled with it. 2019, he had that the elbow thing. 2022, of course, with the Tommy John. So I understand
he's never thrown more than 111 innings in a season.
That's true. But I feel like that's, I don't know, when guys like Noah Syndergaard, and I know Justin Verlander it's a Hall of Famer coming back from Tommy John, but Dustin May comes back, I feel like you should be fine. And once I don't have it in front of me, but who are the guys that have Tommy John and then immediately get hurt right after? I don't feel like that's a usual thing. So I divert from that thinking, but you're right. They have gotten away from a lot of their pitching talent. And we talked about this with Lindsey Crosby, the Locked On MLB Prospects host. Like, is that because they feel so confident that they will turn anybody into gold?
Yeah.
And so they don't need to keep their stash pitching prospects. Like, no, we can get anybody and we can turn them into gold. We have the magic sauce here. Maybe
Jason Adam, Jeffrey Springs, JP Fireeisen.
The list goes on and on. So yeah, I don't, to answer Mr. Babyface, I don't think we will see Mason Montgomery in a Rays uniform until at the earliest, late 2024.
Yeah, 2024 is probably more of a safer ETA. I will say this about, and again, don't shoot the messenger here, Shane McClanahan. I was listening to David Sampson podcast, and he is under the impression, he is actually very vociferous in saying that Shane McClanahan will not throw another pitch for the Rays this season, regular season or postseason. And he is like taking that to the bank. Because wasn't it best case scenario that Shane McClanahan would miss 2 starts? Best case scenario.
Correct. I think 3. I think they said 3 just because of the way that the schedule lined up. Yeah. And Kevin Cash was asked by Trisha Whitaker yesterday, and he said, "Yep, everything's looking good." So I don't know. David Sampson is a friend of the program. We've had him before. He was awesome. So we'll see. Like David says, wait to see.
That's true. And as far as Mason Montgomery, I haven't watched any of his games, but if you look at the scouting reports, he's got a good riding fastball, hides the ball well, lefty with some decent secondaries. So I could see the Rays turning him into something where there's, I guess, an idea that, some of these colleges like Texas Tech and others, they're not sure how to mold some of their pitchers, or they don't maximize the potential of them. So the Rays can take them in a 6th, 7th, 8th round and really turn them into something and find some gold there. So he will be a guy to watch going forward. And it could also be a case, everybody's talking about Todd Bradley. I wouldn't be surprised if Mason Montgomery, 10 years from now, we look back, man, how did Mason Montgomery, much better pitcher in the big leagues than Todd Bradley? That is within the realm of possibility.
Well, that's because, prospect rankings mean zilch. Wasn't Mike Piazza a 39th rounder? Wasn't Kevin Kiermaier a 39th rounder as well? Wasn't Kevin Youkilis like on? I don't know if undrafted, but he was pretty high too on the draft round. Like that,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, people. It's what you do on the field and within the wide lines. But if Babyface perhaps wants to put some green Skittles on that Mason Montgomery is going to be better than Tash Bradley, well, there's only one place that he could do that, and that is BetOnline.net, which is your number one source for all your pro and college football betting needs and sports info this season. I am so disgusted that this is the last Sunday that there is no actual NFL game. So I am going to have to be subjected to people just filling up my Twitter timeline and Instagram with a lot of football things that I don't care for. But if you do like that football game, well, you can find all of the latest football league developments, game matchups, the news, the podcast, everything about the opening week's games at betonline.net. BetOnline is also your continued source for all your sports wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. It is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, golf, and of course, our favorite MLB. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
All right, this next mailbag question from Caleb. He says, here's a fun mailbag question. Who will have more home runs at the end of the season? Isaac Paredes or Randy Arozarena? They both, for the record, have 18 as of this recording.
It's a good question, Caleb. Good question. I have two reasoning part of why I think it'll be a Randy Arozarena. Number one, easy one, more playing time. He's more going to be more opportunities, more in the more times in the lineup than Isaac Paredes is. So that should help. Number two, Caleb himself tagged me on Twitter that there was a really interesting article on Randy Arozarena being tied to Jonathan Aranda. And one of the things that Randy Arozarena has told Mark Topkin was that he really wants that 2020, stat to be attached to his name once again. Last year, he got it on the last final game with the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, that last bag, the 20th. He wants that again. He's smelling it. Of course, he already has the stolen bag, so now he just needs 2 home runs. This guy has a goal in mind. Isaac Paredes, I don't know what his goal is. I don't even think that Isaac Paredes had I'm going to hit 20 home runs this season when spring training broke out. I think he, in his man, was like, I hope I get as many opportunities in MLB as much as I can. Oh, whoa, I've been traded? Holy crap. Well, okay, I guess I'll move to Durham, and hopefully they call me up soon. Like, it's different mentality mindsets for the 2022 season. Randy Arozarena has had this 2020 goal since the beginning. He's worked on it. I feel like that just, when you have a goal and you write it down, you visualize it. If you have a visualization board or whatever you might call it, that helps you out to get that goal finished and completed. And I think that's where Randy is. And so I would put my green Skittles on Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, it's funny because, I mean, home runs per at bat, Isaac Paredes is crushing the game with 18 home runs and 263 at bats compared to Randy's 18 home runs and 484 at bats. But I also think it's going to be Randy, just again, based on more opportunities, more chances. And also Randy shines in the big, bright moments. This is big boy baseball, September baseball, playoff caliber, heightened stakes baseball. I feel like that's where Randy can turn the screws on a little bit more. And let's also acknowledge this. I mean, if we just want to look at the Savant page, Randy Arozarena blows Isaac Paredes out of the water in average XSD and max exit velocity and barrel percentage and in hard hit percentage. But I also think, how do these guys go about their power? How do they hit their home runs? Isaac Paredes is purely, all of his home runs are pull heavy, dead pull. So middle, he's turning on it and it's a home run. And pitchers, scouts, they know that. Pitch away to him. Don't allow him to, make him hit the ball the other way if you can. You can locate away from him. Whereas Randy Arozarena, his home runs are more spread out. Yeah, he'll pull some. He'll hit a lot straight away. He'll hit some the other way as well. And we've talked about this before with Randy. Fastball, any count, any location, he can hit it out of the ballpark. So I think he is more of a difficult matchup in the sense of he can almost turn any pitch into a home run, whereas Isaac Paredes, it has to be right in his wheelhouse where he can really pull the hands in and turn on it.
And then he doesn't have to miss it, right? Because he has less opportunities, but you're not a machine too. Like you can get your pitch, but if you miss it by a millimeter, okay, that goes straight back. Mm-hmm. So you can foul it off. So it's also maximizing the opportunity. So I think the first reasoning of just more chances at this would give Randy the edge. But we have seen Mr. AL Player of the Week, Isaac Paredes, just knock 7, without us finishing a hot dog. So it's pretty entertaining, So Caleb, good question. I want to hear what you say, Caleb. So Caleb, whatever you think, if you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, you can just comment. I think Isaac Paredes will have more, or I think Randy Arozarena will have more. I want you guys to start using that comments box a little bit more. I love anybody that uses the comment section. So please go make sure that you give the love to not only like and subscribe on the YouTube channel and the videos, but also comment. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you have to say, because what you have to say might make it onto the show. Most of the time, it makes it onto the show, doesn't it, Kevin?
It does indeed. All right, so great question there from Caleb and Babyface as well. And this last question, also a good one from obviously a burner on Twitter. This individual says, if the Rays open a 40-man spot, who do you think would be added to it? One hitter and one pitcher.
Wait. What is the at?
Obviously a burner, so burner account is what this person's going for. So maybe it's Kevin Durant. Who knows?
Oh, okay, of course. Maybe it's Kevin Cash. He's like, yo, guys, what is the front office doing? Maybe it's
now. I don't know if this question. I was looking at this more forward-looking in the future, like off-season. Who are the first 2 ads, as opposed to right now?
So maybe I have a different take on this. I thought he meant like if somebody gets injured or a DFA, like something like that, or somebody coming back from the 60-day IL, which for me, I mean, I think I have a first name and a last name, and I already tweeted about this. The September premium opener has Mr. Tyler Glasnow. That's the guy. That's it. All right. I don't need any hitter. I don't need nobody. I just need Mr. Tyler Glasnow to be providing 2 innings every 5 days, be the opener for Ryan Yarbrough, okay, instead of Sean Armstrong. How about you save Sean Armstrong for another day or for the back end of that game, and you give Tyler Glasnow a good routine of every 5 days, but only having to provide 2 innings. I mean, that's just delicious. And besides, if you're Aaron Boone, if you're Alex Cora, if you're Dusty Baker, if you are, well, Charlie Montoyo is no longer the Blue Jays coach. Who's I forget his name. The Blue Jays
coach?
Yeah.
I have no idea, honestly. I just know that Charlie Montoyo was canned.
He was indeed.
Brandon Hyde is the Orioles.
Right. I'm thinking about managers that the Rays are going to have to face. Look, it's going to be very difficult to make up a lineup when the 2 pitchers that are going to be that you're going to be facing are Tyler Glasnow, righty, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, dirty curveball, and hello at that slutter.
Yeah.
And then after him, you have Ryan Yarbrough throwing cutters and changeups and 88-mile-an-hour fastballs. Like, how do you make that lineup up? That would just twist them into a pretzel. So I would just love to see that.
But, well, here's my point: is Tyler Glasnow is already on the 40-man roster.
But somebody. I thought. Okay, sorry.
I mean, technically, the Rays have like 50 guys on the 40-man roster because of all the injuries. If you're on their 60-day IL,
active. So somebody would have to come out of the 26 if he's coming out from the 60-day IL.
Yeah.
Okay.
So scratch
That's
that.
40.
What about is there a position player?
Okay.
That's
fair.
why I was looking at this in the future offseason, because I don't know who else they would necessarily add to the 40-man before the end of the
Who
season.
else needs to? Yeah. Okay. You say what you have to say, and then let me think.
Well, I think 2 must-adds, 1 pitcher, 1 hitter, and the Rays will find room for these guys, Curtis Mead and Taj Bradley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they also probably have to find room for Greg Jones, Xavier Edwards, Jaden Murray, maybe. Colby White.
Jaden Murray was traded.
Oh, Jaden Murray was traded already? Wow. Man,
Yeah.
I've lost track of time.
Astros.
That's right. He was traded. Regardless, the Rays have, this is, I think, more of an off-season question, where the Rays are going to have a lot of shuffling.
I like what you're saying. I mean, yeah, that Tash and Curtis would be obviously the ones to be added if you're a pitcher and a hitter. But you know what, John, we took your question and just changed it a little bit. All right, so
there we go.
Don't kill us a little bit. We switched it to the 26-man active roster for my take, and then Kevin took it for the offseason.
Yeah, here's a flip on it. How about this? Will Gman Choi be on the Rays 40-man roster in 2023? Yes or no?
If I say no, then I'm going to go against what I said in the offseason, which was like, I am not going to comment on Gman Choi's future with the Rays ever again because I've been wrong 3 times in a row. So I don't want to.
There's no way the Rays are bringing him back.
There's no way, right? I know. There's no way. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Right?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so if Jonathan Aranda continues to show and step up. And that's the key, too, going forward. And, I mean, you've got we can talk righty-lefty, but the fact is Harold Ramirez just rakes left and right. But Jonathan Aranda, it's an interesting case to see what he does over the course of this month, where I assume he won't be playing every day. How does he handle and adjust to that where he's used to being an everyday player? Can you handle being more off the bench more than you're used to? Moreover, stepping into like Randy Arozarena, we know can handle the spotlight. Can Aranda handle that spotlight in New York and facing some of the best teams in baseball?
He looked good at the box, man. I mean,
he's
a walk, but he looked good. He got that 9th inning good. I think it was an extra base hit. I think it was a double. He looked good, man. I have no doubt in his ability with the bat. It's just, will he be able to? If second base might not be for him, can he pick it up at first base? Nobody in Rays fandom would have said Gman Choi is going to be a good first baseman that we really enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Nobody would have said that in 2018. Nobody. So that you can change that. You can work at it. You can become just an average guy. And a platoon of Harold Ramirez and Jonathan Aranda at first base, righty lefty, and hopefully they get better with the glove. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of pop, but a whole bunch of singles and doubles, and I'm in for that.
Okay, last thing, 40-man roster talk. Will Ryan Yarbrough be on the Rays 40-man in 2023?
I think just because I think they like what he has. I enjoy what he has been doing in 2022. I think because of the money aspect,
right,
it'll be a no, because I think he would be probably afforded what, $6 million, 6.5.
Yeah, he's making $3.85 million this year.
Yeah, so that's going up to like 5, maybe 5.5. So no, I don't see the Rays paying him that much when you've got guys that you can, again, go out of them from the 60-day IL, like a Tyler Glasnow or a Yanni Chirinos, or maybe a Brendan McKay if he ever is healthy again.
I have a feeling, though, that Ryan Yarbrough would be more likely to be on the Rays 40-man than Gman Choi, just for that pitching insurance where you have so many more
that's a good poll.
Position players.
That's a good offseason poll. Who is more likely to come back in 2023, Ryan Yarbrough or Gman Choi? People are going to vote with their hearts, and they're going to say Gman Choi, but their brain should say Ryan Yarbrough. Kevin, I want to say one more thing.
Yes.
Body language is real. And if you don't think that that's real, then again, like I said on Monday's episode, touch grass, go outside, listen to the birds. Body language is real. Vidal Brujan at the box on Sunday.
Not good.
Oh, he looked good.
Oh, look good.
That's the first time I see Vidal, and I'm like, that's a major leaguer. And his lefty and his lefty swing, the lefty preparation from that side, it was very reminiscent of Wander Franco and their buddies. I would not put it past anyone that Vidal and Wander have been talking hitting, and Vidal has approached Wander, and Wander has given him some tips because he did have some Wander-esque stance on the left side. It was eerie. It was eerie. So we've mentioned how he has underperformed his projections this season, and I think he would be the first one to tell you that he's not that guy. I'm here to tell you, just from body language and how he hit that ball, even though it was just a line out to right field, he looked good. So everybody, highlight Vidal every time he's on the lineup, if he's on the lineup or if he's going to be a pinch hitter, and watch his at-bats. I'm enthused about what Vidal can do in September.
Sometimes you need a reset and a reality check, and you go back to AAA and you find yourself again. And maybe Wander, now that he's 180, $200 million man, he'll give away some of his trade secrets now. There's no competition for him going forward. It's not Vidal Brujan that's getting that contract. That's already given to Wander Franco. So maybe there's some of that too. But no, that's obviously the Rays would clearly be ideal, but there was an expectation that they would at least hit on either Vidal Brujan or Josh Lowe or one of those names. And Josh Lowe's still in AAA, right? I mean,
yeah. And we love what Taylor Walls is doing with the glove.
Yeah.
And I know some people are like, he's getting better lately, and which he has. I've explained the home and away splits are real. The dude is good at the Trop. Take him out of the Trop. My goodness, you do not want to see his at bats.
Yeah.
But
no, he's probably the best 175 hitter out there right now. A lot of his, and that's kind of a joke, but it's also not a joke, where I do see, he hits the ball in the screws, line drive, but it's right to the center fielder. The center fielder makes 2-3 steps to the right or left, and that's an out. So you would, I don't know what his BABIP is, but I would think they're, at some point, those have to fall. But that's what guys say when they're batting 160, 170. Man, I'm hitting the ball really hard. It's just an out every time. So
exactly.
We'll see what happens with all that. But thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your very first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB Prospects podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.